for my time supporting people using continuous glucose monitors to hack their blood sugar. So this is kind of a greatest hits night. My name is Karen Kennedy, and I'm the owner of Real Food Matters. So this is our greatest hits night. As a lot of you know, I have been working, I'm a functional nutritionist, and I take my clients and often groups of people through using a continuous glucose monitor to hack their blood sugar. And I use the word hack very intentionally because, you know, typically when we're trying to improve someone's blood sugar, reverse diabetes, reverse cardiovascular disease, it seems like you have to do all the things. And it seems like there's such a high bar to eat all the right foods, avoid all the tasty foods, do lots of exercising, completely change everything. And I'm not saying that you can't do that. But sometimes that just feels so daunting, and people think, am I going to lose everything I love in my life, all this joy, just to get healthy? And that's why I love using continuous glucose monitor, because you can see what works and what doesn't. And you can see the minimum amount of effort that moves the needle in the right direction, right? And you can know now. You don't have to wait 3-6 months for your next set of labs. You know now what's working, what doesn't. So why do you even care about blood sugar? You know, before I give you these tips, you know, why do I care about blood sugar? I don't even have diabetes yet. Diabetes is decades in the making. There is no point like, okay, now I have prediabetes and now I have diabetes. There are these artificial like cutoffs, but actually it's a slow progression. And at every point as well. So good blood sugar control helps prevent diabetes, sure. It definitely prevents heart disease. It improves your sleep. It helps you lose belly fat. It decreases inflammation and pain. It helps you regulate hormones. It helps you think straight. Some people connect dysregulated blood sugar to dementia and Alzheimer's. That's not entirely clear. But there's lots of reasons to do it that don't just make you live longer. It makes you live better. It helps you feel better. So good blood sugar regulation reaches all the other systems in the body. And before I start with my list, there's two things. One, I have a BOGO offer that I want to tell you about now. So you know that I've been doing buy one, get one for 50% off if you sign up, which means if you bring a friend, they get half off. But from now until Sunday, what's that? Sunday the 27th of March, if you register this week by Sunday, you get a buy one, get one free. So if you've been on the fence, sign up now and you can bring a friend for free. This is usually the spouse that also needs to do this, or the spouse that, you know, if you did it, your brother, if you do this with someone else, it increases the likelihood that it will continue and you will have success with it with your health. The other reason is I want you to sign up now and stop dragging your feet, because I'd like you to get that prescription and get the ball rolling. And the sooner you sign up, the better this works. So sign up now. That's it. And I'm going to give away tonight 3 free breakthrough calls with me. And a breakthrough call is just like a 45-minute phone call where we talk about what your health concerns are, what you've done, and brainstorm some things we think we might work, and see if we can get you headed in a good trajectory for that. That's it, just 3 calls. And I will tell you how at the end, so you have to stay with me and listen to my tips, because that's how it works. Okay, so 3 top tips. And these are the ones that just work. It's hard. Like the first 2 were easy. The last one, I was like, oh, is it this one or this one? They're the ones that seem to work for everyone, and they require the least amount of investment on your end and the biggest payoff. So number 1 is taking a walk after meals. Take a walk after meals. Not a hike, not a brisk walk, not a jog, just a stroll. And this is because exercise is one of the most powerful tools we have for our health. I mean, like if it was a drug, it would be the best-selling drug with no side effects. And, you know, controlling our blood sugar, preventing diabetes is where exercise really stands out. Gina, hey Gina, hi Lisa. Oh, bad connection. Yeah, well, rural internet. Thanks for hanging with me. So there isn't a bad way to exercise. Always helps is taking a walk after a meal. And we see this over and over on our continuous glucose monitors, where you might have a meal that's really spiking your blood sugar, and then you realize, oh man, I need to do something to mitigate this. And then we just, you know, put on a jacket, go outside and just go for a 15-minute stroll, and it really brings blood sugar levels down gently. And the reason is we have a few different mechanisms to glucose uptake. So by just using those muscles, by just not sitting on the couch and watching TV or getting on the computer right after your meal, you're using the muscles a little bit, and a little bit is enough. So when you have a dessert or a higher carbohydrate meal, be sure to get up and just take a 10 to 20 minute walk. You could jump on your treadmill, you could go for a walk outside, you could do some laps around your building where you work. That's the biggest one, and doing it after your evening meal is the most important. All right, I mean, do you think you could do that? It's like the perfect time of year to give you that advice, because we just have that dreaded time change, but now it's light enough to eat after dinner if you eat early enough. All right, so that's one. Number two, this is the easiest one by far. The order that you eat. Eat your protein first. So in your meal that you have, let's say you have a steak and a potato and salad. You go out for dinner, you're getting a steak and a baked potato and salad. That's the meal. The order that you eat that meal will affect what your blood sugar does after the meal. If you eat that baked potato first, the starch, the carbohydrate first, it will send your blood sugar up higher. But if you switch the order of your food and you eat your steak first, the protein, like 20 grams of protein, which is why you hear me always doing the hashtag 20 grams of protein, it will slow down your gastric emptying and steady out your blood sugar. I'll tell you what I mean by that. Your stomach has acid in it, and when you eat a protein food like a steak, it requires time in your stomach, time in that acid, in order to break down and be digested. Your baked potato, that doesn't need to stay in your stomach very long, so your body just lets it go through. But if you have that steak, your body's going to send signals that says, slow down, let's keep that food in the stomach longer, and sort of slow down the emptying of the stomach into the small intestine. So it kind of time releases your meal a little bit more by eating that protein first. So it could be that steak, it could be a couple of eggs, it could be it should be a cup of chickpeas. Trying to get that protein in very first before anything else. So this doesn't even ask you to change what you're eating unless you're not eating any protein at all. And I see that a lot. So think about what's my protein, and eat that first. No, don't eat the chips and salsa off the table first. Don't eat the bread and butter that they put. Those are not appetizers. Those are not going to help you. Or in my case, do not drink the mango lassi before your curry arrives, because a mango lassi, I discovered using a CGM, is like mainlining sugar into my system. So this is a great advice. Eat your protein first. My mom used to tell me this when we would go out for dinner. She would say, do not fill up on the bread, do not fill up on chips and salsa, because that is cheap. The steak is the most expensive thing. Eat the meat first and eat the bread and potato and what last, because that's the least expensive thing on the menu. So the advice also works for blood sugar. Stop eating 3 hours before bedtime. And this kind of fits into that time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting. I know some people do it where they just skip breakfast and they don't eat till lunchtime. But I find that's not as effective as stopping eating earlier. And this is because our glucose metabolism, our insulin sensitivity, it has a circadian rhythm to it. It has a circadian rhythm to it. We are more insulin sensitive, so we can metabolize carbohydrates better in the middle of the day when the sun is up than we are at night when the sun is down. And this could have something to do with melatonin. If your melatonin levels are up, you're very insulin insensitive. So if you eat late and you're trying to metabolize all that glucose, all that blood sugar at nighttime, you're going to have a harder time with it. So move those carbohydrates earlier in the day. Stop eating 3 hours before your bedtime. Just stop. So that's easy. Sometimes that's easy. Sometimes that's not easy. So by stopping 3 hours prior to bedtime, this is actually 2 tips in one, in a way. The first way you can interpret this is if you're going to eat a food that spikes your blood sugar, like birthday cake. Let's say there's birthday cake. It's your birthday. It's a birthday and you want to have some cake. You are better off eating it after lunch than after dinner. It's better to have your dessert after lunch than after dinner. And by stopping eating 3 hours prior to bedtime, you also give your blood sugar a chance to come down to baseline earlier. And this helps you sleep and also gets you in the fasted state much longer, earlier and longer during that critical nighttime period. So that improves with your intermittent fasting. And if you stop eating earlier and it improves your sleep, we know that improved sleep helps your blood sugar stay regulated the next day. So you're kind of giving yourself a double whammy with that one. So there's even more reasons to stop eating 3 hours before your bedtime. All right? So if I were to summarize my greatest hits, I know I could have dragged this out forever. I have a few more things to say. But if I were to summarize this talk in one example, if you want to enjoy some birthday cake with the minimum impact on your blood sugar and health, you would eat that birthday cake after lunch. But first, you would eat a lunch that has 20 grams of protein before you have that birthday cake. And then you'd go for a 20-minute walk. Not a brisk walk, not a hike, not a run, just take a stroll. That is how you have birthday cake and have the least negative impact on your blood sugar. So this is why I love helping my clients use their continuous glucose monitors. It is really empowering. You don't have to, you're not guessing anymore. You know what works. You actually might be at a point with your health, your metabolism might be so impaired that you actually can't have birthday cake. That's just not on the menu for you right now. But after a few months, maybe a year of doing what you need to do to regulate your blood sugar and improve your metabolism, you should be able to get a cake in there every now and then. Not a whole cake, but do you see what I mean? Most of my clients who don't have diabetes yet it means you don't have to lose everything. You can do the minimum amount of healthy in order to move the needle and make the direction and improve it in the direction you want. And you don't have to wait 3 to 6 months to see if it's working. So this is getting into the immediate gratification. for doing something good for your health. And this is rare because think about it. Usually when we do something that's not healthy for us, like eat some ice cream, like some of us know that we're not going to feel good after we eat ice cream or whatever reason. But immediately we feel great because we're eating ice cream. You get immediate gratification, and the negative impact some immediate gratification because you scan your sensor and you look and you go, whoo, woo, staying in range. It's a gamification and it works. It actually is great for our brains, especially our brains that just need a little extra dopamine, for doing the healthy thing for ourselves. So it's like having a little coach on your arm. So as you know, I have a group starting April 11th, and we're doing the buy one, get one free all the way through this Sunday, the 27th, if you register. I'd love it if you brought someone with you. This is great. So it's not even an upsell because this person's just coming in for free to support you to do well themselves. It'll make it more fun. So when you register, if you have questions, just send me an email. You know how to reach me. You can reach me on my Facebook page, my Facebook group. I do, those free phone calls to ask me questions. So let me know if you have questions. I always help you get a prescription. I have a letter that you can give to your provider to get a prescription for a continuous glucose monitor. You do not need insurance to cover it. The continuous glucose monitor is $40 for 2 weeks. So if you use it for the whole month that we're doing this program, it's $80 in addition to this program to go to the pharmacy and pay for your continuous glucose monitor. $80 total, cash. You don't need insurance. You just need your doctor to write a prescription, and I will help you with that by giving you a letter for that. And if you can't get a prescription by the time, if for some reason that doesn't work, you get a refund. So don't worry about that. And for those of you who stayed to listen, it only took you 20 minutes to get this. For those of you who stayed to listen, I'm giving away 3 breakthrough calls with me. They're just 45-minute phone calls with me where I'm going to hear, what your health concerns are, what's not been working, what has worked, and we'll kind of put together a plan to see what might be a good way forward for you. So what I'd like you to do is the first 3 people who type in free call. That's it. Just type in free call into the comments and you will get a free session. All right, and I'll just message you back and let you know you've won that, and we'll set that up and we'll have a phone call and see what you need any help with. Okay, so I'm going to end this live. If you have questions, I will look into it a little bit later and try to answer your questions. I know some of you will be watching this on the replay. Most of you will be watching this on the replay, so don't be shy about putting free call in there and see if it works for you. Okay? Thank you for joining me, and please let me know if you have any questions about the upcoming CGM class. But please use some of the tips I gave you because they work. They work really well, and they have worked for every person that I have worked with. Okay? Thank you for joining me, you guys, and have a good night. Bye.